Texture, special effects, gradients, gold leaf. There is something for everybody. Hello everybody, this is Maria Grossbaum from Abissima. Today we have an amazing class with a lot of techniques. You can use all of them, you can use some of them, no matter what level of experience you have. There is so much to learn and it will enlarge your experience in mixed media. So this technique, this conglomeration of techniques I called Fireflies. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Yes, this artwork is our model work and I received so many requests. We're gonna learn a lot. Textural patterns, we will use gold leaf, we will create design, we will do some intuitive drawing, and I will show you how to attach artwork to canvas and how to create this beautiful pale ornament around your artwork. I'm very excited for you. It will help you to expand your creative experience in mixed media. Below this video you will find list of materials. I also invite you to check out my online school. There are paid and free tutorials, and also in this isolation time I'm super happy to offer my paid classes with 50% off. You will find all this information also below this video. Please subscribe to my channel and also join my Instagram and Facebook group. It's a great opportunity to stay tuned and be informed about new coming classes and also to expand a creative circle of creative friends.
Are you ready to start? I am ready. Let's take a look again at what we are going to create, and we see that this artwork is made out of two parts. On the top we have an artwork that was created on watercolor paper, and at the bottom there is a canvas that is a base. So all this project is a wonderful opportunity to use again canvas that you don't like anymore. Just like in my case, there is a painting that I've created with my daughter a long time ago. I want to use it again. I also make sure that the watercolor paper where I'm going to build my art is a little smaller. And in order to reuse my canvas, I'm going to cover it all completely with white acrylic paint. I was going to do so with white gesso, but I discovered that I don't have any left. So I'm using white acrylics, and this is kind of an experiment for me because I've never done this way. But you know what, you need to be creative. If there are materials that you don't have, you need to find a solution and replace it with something else. I apply a few coats of white paint, and it's easier and faster to do so with flat brush. Alright, sweet, I finished this part. I'm putting this aside to dry, and now I'm going to focus on the watercolor paper where I'm going to build all my artwork. So what happens when you apply any paints or any mediums on watercolor paper? Right, it bends, and when it bends, it's extremely annoying. Therefore, I'm preparing my working space and attaching watercolor paper with masking tape to a board. So what makes this firefly artwork so unique? Right, the texture. And let's take a look what we need. I'm going to use cheesecloth. We will need scissors, any brand of modeling paste, and knife or palette knife to apply paste. I'm going to use a knife with teeth. I like the teeth because they create additional textural pattern. So all you need to do is to apply modeling paste directly on watercolor paper, and at this stage you could be as wild, as creative as you like. You could use a lot of paste, you could use a little bit of paste, it depends on your creative taste. Although, let me give you a suggestion and a tip. I'm going to leave some area without paste because I don't want my artwork to be too busy. Okay, so give it a try, decide where you don't want to paste and avoid this area. Okay, I'm happy with amount of modeling paste, and now it's time to apply cheesecloth. Although it is boring to apply cheesecloth just as is, and I like breaking it before, this will create different sizes of holes that will make my texture very unique. So basically, now my aim is to cover all the areas where I have modeling paste with cheesecloth. I suggest that at this stage, just be as creative as you can. You don't need to apply cheesecloth on the whole surface of your artwork. You could leave some modeling paste not covered, or when you apply cheesecloth, you can really push it so that modeling paste goes through the holes, and it will create interesting effect. I have another video for creating this effect that I called corn. So if you didn't see it yet, check it out because it will give you additional tips and all kind of creative inspirations. So what I like in my textural composition is that there is a specific flow, and it's hard to see it at the moment, but I'm trying to create waves that are all oriented to the same direction. This will give interesting dynamics and more organic look. So at this point, just be really creative. Give yourself permission to be totally creatively wild, and you could add more modeling paste. It could be underneath cheesecloth or it could be on the top. It depends on your taste, but don't be afraid and try to create high peaks, because high peaks giving more three-dimensional effect, and it will make your composition more interesting, more experimental and more unique. You could cut also some areas with scissors, and maybe have a few layers of cheesecloth. Again, no rules, just allow yourself to be very creative and try to achieve specific textural flow in your composition. I forgot to mention that in case you don't have modeling paste, you could try and build textural composition with gesso and cheesecloth. I'm not sure if you will be able to build high peaks, but I think you could still achieve quite interesting effect. I personally never tried it with gesso, but my intuition tells me that that it's possible. I don't want to overdo it. I think I will stop very soon. Yes, I'm quite happy with what I've created. Let's take a closer look. Yes, I think this is good. No more texture. This is enough. So now I just need to wait until everything is dry. It takes about 6 to 8 hours, or you could use hair dryer and use it for about 20 minutes if you're really anxious to continue. Well, it's dry now, and yes, I'm anxious to continue. English is so difficult sometimes for my pronunciation. Anxious. I'm anxious to continue. And yes, for my convenience, I want to cut out all the leftovers on the side so I get a better idea of my composition, and I suggest you to do the same. Okay, wonderful. Now we are ready to paint. But first, let's take a look at the model. Here I have a nice blend and colors are nicely flowing from dark to light, from the top to the bottom, so let's keep it this way. I'm going to use different shapes and sizes of brushes and about 4 different acrylic paints. I will give you the name of each tone that I'm using, but I love giving my students total creative freedom, so you don't need to stick to these particular tones. Also, it's nice to have palette to mix your acrylics and water. And now we're good to go. So we built very rich background, and there's a lot of different materials that absorb paint in different way. So I suggest, in order to help color nicely flow on your surface, to start with a lot of water. In all this project, this is probably my most favorite stage because colors start revealing my beautiful texture. So my idea is really simple. I want all the embossed parts, all the parts that are sticking out, or all the peaks, to be in orange, and the rest whatever. I don't know yet what it's going to look like, but I like to have darker tones on the upper part of the painting and lighter tones at the bottom. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to use only 4 different acrylic tones, but you will be amazed how many tones in between you can get almost a full rainbow. So this project is very also educational, because you will really explore what could be achieved with only 4 paints. Also, it's a good idea to change the angle of your working space and let colors drip and get into all different lower spots of your artwork. So apply your paints little by little, make sure that they are nicely diluted with water, and keep in mind that when paints are dry, they are more pale. Another important tip that I want to mention is that try to create colorful layers. Try to avoid pure colors. I find, and it's only my subjective taste, but I'm sharing with you my own experience. So I find that when my artwork has different colorful layers, the result is more interesting. Plus, keep in mind that I'm using different type of colors. There are metallic acrylics, there's some neon fluorescent. So when I blend them together on the surface, it creates more interesting and more unique look. So at this stage of our art project, you need to be very expressive, because this artwork is an abstract, meaning that everything is totally acceptable. So allow yourself to be impulsive and just splash colors on the surface, mix colors together. But of course, keep in mind that it's important to avoid muddy look. Okay, I know it comes with experience, but this artwork, I mean, this project is really great for this type of experimentation. And in order to avoid mud, water is your best friend, because when water dilutes paint, it becomes semi-transparent, and this way you have more control. Speaking of mud, I think I need to stop, otherwise it will be totally muddy. Well, I'm glad I stopped in time, and now it's time for gold. So let me tell you what I have in my hands. These two products are excellent for adhering gold leaf. The one on the left allows me to create very beautiful detailed ornament, and the one on the right works as a glue. I'm sure you're already familiar with these products if you took my intuitive art class. If not, this would be an amazing opportunity to get familiar with them. And this is my gold leaf. Well, imitation of gold leaf, golden flakes. And now let's take again a look on our model. And as you can see, I have golden dot and some kind of a tail. So let's create similar design. I'm going to start with one of my most favorite products. It's a relief paste. It took me some time to understand how to work with this. It's not hard, but a trick here is that while drawing your design, you also need to squeeze some amount to the tip of the tube. Another tricky thing about this paste is that you cannot apply gold leaf on it right away. You need to be patient and wait until the paste gets completely transparent. So when it's transparent, it's an indication that the paste is ready. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. And the waiting time, oh my god, let me tell you. Of course, depending on how thick the layer is, but it might take sometimes up to an hour or even more. So thicker your layer is, more time it takes to dry. And it's very important to mention and remind you that it's important to stay simple. Create very simple design. Avoid intricate lines and shapes and ornaments. Circles and lines. This will be more than enough because we have so much going on. There is a textural background, a lot of different colors. Plus, we are also going to work with white and black sharpies and pens. Okay, so stay simple, stay basic, only circles and only lines will be more than enough. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's do something really exciting. Do you see how I have gold right on the cheesecloth in some areas? It is a very subtle effect, but it adds so much to my artwork. So let me show you how to create it. Creating this effect is super simple and a lot of fun. All you need is a gilding paste and flat brush. And while holding your brush on an angle, lightly touch surfaces where you want this effect to appear. It works the best on the peaks and on all the sticking out areas. I think it's time to put my artwork aside and wait until all the gilding pastes are clear and ready for gold leaf application. Et voila! After 2 hours, I have everything clear, and now let's get into the magic of gold leaf application. I'm going to demonstrate to you two different types of gold leaf and two different types of gold leaf application. You will need a piece of toilet paper, some dry brushes, and of course the gold leaf. As I mentioned before, I'm using imitation as real gold leaf is very pricey, and for our purposes imitation works really well. So here is how I like doing it. I apply directly on the gilding paste that is clear now. I apply some flakes, press lightly with toilet paper, make sure that everything, all the flakes sit firmly on the surface, and then using brush I take out all the leftovers. Okay, so wherever I had the paste, the gold leaf sticks to it, and the rest is going out. I know that it takes time to get used to this technique, but once you figure this out, you will find it absolutely enjoyable, because from my experience, I didn't find any pigments that are as bright and as shiny as the gold leaf. And when you see how your drawing is revealed with gold, I think it's like a real pure magic. Suddenly your artwork starts to be very unique, and you feel such an amazing gratitude to yourself, you know, for being so patient, waiting until everything will be dried, and your beautiful golden ornaments is an amazing reward. I found that it's so much easier to work section by section rather than applying gold leaf on the whole artwork. The reason is I want to be totally sure, totally focused on a specific area, and know that I do a good job, that no leftovers are stuck anywhere, and working with the smaller section makes it so much more easier and gives you more control over this magic process. Well, the top right corner is completed, and was it fun? I think it was a lot of fun. And now let me show you another way and another type of gold leaf. It's called gold mirror effect. It is an absolutely amazing product. Well, why I like it? Number one, there is no mess. There is no need to take all the leftovers out. Number two, it's way more shiny. Number three, if you're not satisfied with your results, you can reapply it again and again until you are happy. So this is what it looks like. And a good thing about this product is that it's not only it exists not only in gold pigment, it could be also blue, green, purple, red, and silver. And it gives you an amazing variety and very inspiring range to express yourself artistically. Can you see it? Can you see how shiny this is? And do you see how fast everything is happening? I really don't need to make sure that, you know, I take away all the leftovers. Here I just apply it on top. As you can see, I'm using toilet paper and sliding lightly my fingers over the surface, and then lift it up, and voila, I have most beautiful golden effect ever. Isn't it sweet? Well, if you enjoy working with gold leaf and you would like to know more, check out my intuitive art course and enjoy it. I also would love to show you some examples of my own artworks that I've created using same golden effect. Check it out. Okay, well, I really hope that gold leaf presentation was enjoyable and inspiring. And now let's continue. And in the next step, we are going to work with black and white sharpies. As you can see, in my model painting, I use a lot of them. They add an additional dynamics and interesting details that make my artwork unique. And of course, let's keep it simple as I always mention. What am I going to do? I'm going to add a black outline, black contour around my golden circles. And I have no idea what will happen next, but once I have black outline, it will give me a better idea how to proceed. But you know what? It doesn't concern me, and let me tell you why. During all these years of experimentations and creating my abstract pieces, I've learned that it is very important to take baby steps. When you create an abstract work, it is really difficult to imagine final results. So moving forward and taking baby steps is the key. Okay, so at the moment I know exactly what I want to do. I want to create this black outline around the circles, and then once it's over, I will get an idea how to continue next. Okay, so what I'm saying is that you need to put all these concerns aside and let your creativity give you clues what you want to create next. And now I know what I want to create next. I want to add black lines along golden lines. I think it will maintain beautiful flow and emphasize gold even more. If you would like to know more about how to create intuitively, I have a whole course step by step where I explain how to train this ability in you to connect to your inner artist and how to create without self-judgment and just be in the moment and experience pure joy of creating. The course called Spread Your Artistic Wings Through Intuitive Arts, and there is a link below this video. Check it out. It's been very successful for many artists, and a lot of them found their artistic voice, and it makes me very, very proud that I've created this course. Now back to our artistic project. I think it started to look like we're getting somewhere. I think these black lines are beautiful, and now let's work a little bit with regular pilot pen. It's way thinner than black Sharpie, and it's wonderful if you want to retouch certain areas and add some more fine details. Actually, I think it's a bit early for black pilot. I will continue with white Sharpie. So white Sharpie is another permanent marker in white color, but don't forget to shake it before so that the ink flows freely. And in terms of design, I'm not going to invent a bicycle and introduce to my work another artistic style. I will just continue creating lines along black and golden lines to keep similar flow and to keep similar artistic language. I also want to point out that I really enjoy creating different width of lines. As you can see, some of them are thinner, some are thicker. I think it adds more uniqueness to artwork and more flow. So I would suggest to play with it as well. Well, it's a new day, it's a new light as you can see, and let me introduce to you my creative assistant. It is iguana made out of beads. She's very inspiring. And now, after I woke up, I want to take a fresh look at my work, and I think I like it a lot. It's almost finished, although I would like to add a few more lines with black Sharpie and black Pilot. Let's go. Let me remind you that in the beginning of this art project, when we were creating textural background, I mentioned that it's important to leave an area that is almost flat. So this area is perfect to draw on with a Pilot. And what I'm trying to achieve is a butterfly wing ornament-like. So let's take a look again. I think it's getting really busy and I shouldn't add any more lines, maybe just a couple of thin ones in the butterfly area, and that should be it. So technically the work is almost completed. One more final look. I think this painting has it all. It's time to stop and it's time to take it out from the board and cut the edges, just like in my model painting. So I'm gently taking everything off, including the masking tape, and then I will cut the edges on the cutting board. I found that the easiest way to cut the edge is with utility knife and a metal ruler. So my next step will be to find the best position for my artwork on the canvas. Of course, I want to have it right in the middle. I can measure it with ruler to be totally precise, but being an artist for so many years, oh, I sound so snobbish now. But I like doing it just according to my eye, and I will mark the position with a thin pencil. Now let me introduce to you this super strong double-sided tape that I'm going to attach first to the artwork and then to attach all of it to the canvas. Well, technically you could use any double-sided tape. Of course, stronger is better, but if you don't have any double-sided tape, you could use some strong glue. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very emotional moment of attaching my painting right in the position according to the marks that I've made earlier. Beautiful. Now I'm using piece of paper to press again lightly on my painting to make sure that it sits very firmly on the canvas. And now when I'm comparing to the model painting, I see that the only thing that left to do is to apply pale continuation of my lines on the canvas. So the idea is to continue main lines and do it with some pale tone. And the best one that I found is a combination of metal brown, which called rich espresso, and navy blue. I will dilute it well with water on the palette, and with depending on what brush I want to use, probably it will be a thin one, I will continue just like I'm showing right now how it's done on the model painting. I'm going to continue most obvious black lines and then we'll decide what to do next. So it's interesting enough that brown and blue gives you gray tone. So if you want your tone to be more bluish, add more blue. If you want it to be more gray, add more brown. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, I'm taking one of my lines and continuing it straight to the canvas. But it's not only line, so technically I'm creating line, and out of this line I'm creating a gradient that fades out. So what you are aiming for is to create very subtle ornament around your artwork, and you don't need to continue each line that you have. Just continue the main ones and that will be more than enough. And of course, it's a good idea to rotate your canvas in order to find most comfortable position so that you have a full control on your hand. Also, I would like to recommend to you my free watercolor course. I have really cool exercises. They're quite simple, but they give you more confidence and more control, creating exactly what I'm doing right now. All kind of gradients, or gradient when colors blend one into another. So check this out, and I'm sure that no matter what level you are, you will find a lot of useful tips in there. I really like what this pale frame does to the whole artwork. In the middle, we have so much going on. There is such an energetic art with lines and gold and bright colors, and this pale ornament just balances out everything. I found it intuitively. I was lost a couple of times when I was working on this piece, but when I figured out the frame, I knew that this is a good solution, and I'm very happy that now I can share it with you, and I truly hope that you enjoy working on this artwork as much as I do. Well, this is it. I completed my painting, and to be honest, I think I like it even more than the model painting. We have everything here, the gold, the lines, ornament, and the frame. I'm very happy. So I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please check out my other classes in my school. Check out the list of materials. Everything is below this video. So it was great to be with you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon.